Hey guys, this is first of all, commercial fire alarm video review, which I haven't done in a really long time. This here is an interesting little bell that I got last week. This is a Benjamin Electric subdivision of Thomas Industries, Audibell. It's a 6-inch vibrating bell, and it is from the 70s. It's actually dated on the back, which I'll show in a minute. But if you're a fan collector and you watch this channel, you may recognize that name, Thomas Industries. That's because they actually made ceiling fans back in the day as well. I think around the same time this was manufactured. They were also making ceiling fans at that time. Now they rebranded. I actually don't know if they rebranded or if they just like copied Fasco ceiling fan designs from Fasco fan company, but yeah, that's just an interesting little fact if you aren't knowledgeable about Thomas Industries. Now, this is the 6-inch model. It is model number KB516, and the 6 in there indicates that it's 6 inches. The other model numbers are there's a 510, which indicates that it's 10 inches. So like all the ones with 6 have are 6 inch, and then there's also ones that are 4. I think there's like 504, which is 4 inch. So they also made 4 inch models, which probably would be they obviously would have a smaller gong, and I think the back portion here would also be smaller. Now, interesting thing on here. This one is 6 volts. I think it's supposed to be 0.65 amps, but it says 65, and it's DC. And down here is the Benjamin Products logo with the Thomas Industries logo up there. And one thing I noticed was the Thomas Industries logo looks almost kind of similar to the Texas Instruments logo. Just thought that was funny. And now, interestingly, other models of these that I've seen up here, where it says Thomas Industries Incorporated, Sparta, Tennessee, a bunch of the other ones that I've seen up here say Benjamin Electric sub Thomas Industries on it instead of just Thomas Industries up there, which is kind of interesting. Now, if you notice when I showed the side of the bell like that, you may notice that the design looks a little familiar. That's because this is kind of like a copy. It's not a rebrand. It's more of a copy of this one. This is the Edwards Adaptabel, of course, and this is a famous design. These were made from all the way, I think they started production of this model in like the 50s, and they're still being made to this day. This is an iconic design, and you can see clearly the resemblance. This has the sort of that underdome design with the gong on top, which is kind of like mounted. It's the same size as the base here, and the base is like larger, so has that large base here. This one doesn't really have that that portion there, but so this one is much more slim, which kind of gives it an advantage. Has a much more clean looking profile. So yeah, this one's in much better condition. I think this one is new old stock, though I didn't get it in the box or anything. This one was used, so yeah, so here's the back side of it, and it has this plate on it, which is very similar to Edwards' Adaptaplate, actually. On this one, it's actually more similar to, what is it, this one. It looks kind of like that one. This is on my 435 Adaptabel. And, yeah, it is UL listed. Here's the wires that come out of the back, and it comes off just like the mounting plate on the 6-inch Adaptabel, actually. There's a little hanger tab up there and a singular screw down here that you have to like slide it up and off of the mounting bracket. This one is that exact same design, so that is even further proof that it's probably a copy of the Adaptabel. So let me go ahead and take that plate off for you. Alright, here is the back of the bell with the mounting plate off, and you can see it has that hanger that will, whoops, it's upside down, slip into there. And the receptacle on the back, which plugs into the 2 prongs on the bell, which is again identical to the Adaptabel design, so this is once again very clearly a copy. And also the do not remove gong on here, this is like pretty much the exact same description that the it kind of, you can kind of see it in there. Do not remove gong, and it says this Audibell has been factory adjusted for optimum sound level. Further adjustment should not be required during the life of this unit. And the Edwards one says this Edwards Adaptabel has a movement of a radically new design which ensures full signal volume during the life of the bell. This self-adjusting feature compensates for normal wear. So like they basically copied that exact same text. Thomas Industries logo again from Louisville, Kentucky. I've actually been there before. And this one is dated November 28th of 1971. So it's a pretty old one from the 70s. Whoops, that was the screw here. So yeah, now I'm going to put the mounting plate back on and we're going to give it a test ring. Alright, before I ring it, I want to just point out that the reason why I got this is actually not because I've seen these in person before. This is actually the first one of these I've ever even seen in person. But there's a video online that's 13 years old now, I think, that it's called Stock Footage of Some Alarm Bell Ringing. And it's like 13 seconds long. It was 13 years old, 13 seconds long, yeah. And it's one of these. I think it's this exact same model or a very similar model. Also a 6-inch. Just a few seconds of it just ringing continuously. Yeah, and that's the reason why I got this, because that video, I used to watch that one all the time for some reason when I was little, because I used to be fascinated with bells. I mean, I still am, to an extent, but, yeah, I just finally decided to bite the bullet and finally get one of these things, because I really did. I actually didn't even know what it was for the longest time. The label, if you look in the video, is so blurred because the quality is so old and bad. I used to think it said Bud Bell or something like that. I finally figured out what the brand was. So let's give this thing a test now, and I have it wired up to a 9-volt battery right there, because this is only 6 volts as I mentioned before, and it's connected to this Edwards doorbell button. So I'm going to give this button a push and I guess do a continuous to start with here. So here we go in 3, 2, 1. So yeah, it's fairly loud for just running off of 6 volts. It's almost as loud as the 120 volt Adaptabel there, actually. But it's definitely not as like jarring. This has way more volume, I think, still. Let's give it a test. I'm gonna try code 3 here. And a march time. It's got a nice reverberation. I really like it. I'm very happy with this one. Yeah, I've wanted one of these for quite some time now. And, yeah. Now, if you notice in the video, the clip of the stock footage clip, it was kind of slightly higher pitched, but you can still tell it's a 6-inch bell. I think that the footage might have been a little sped up or something like that, so that's why it sounds like that. Or possibly the gong is just a bit smaller, because, as you know, no two bells are the same, because this one's higher pitched than that one. Sounds like that one's about a half step lower. Yeah, which is another reason why I love bells so much, because no two is alike. They're like snowflakes. So yeah, that is the Thomas Industries, or actually Benjamin Electric products, a division of Thomas Industries, 6-inch Audibell model KB516. One more quick test. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.